My brothers and sisters, I'm Father Brian O'Brien, and I welcome you to another installment of Pastors of Payne, Payne County.
Go Boats.
I'm here with my co-host, my friend, my housemate, and we're soon to get a new house. Very exciting. His name is Father Kerry Wakulich. He's the pastor of St. John Catholic Student Center here in Stillwater.
Happy Sunday,
Oklahoma. We're just living it up here. It's been a great September. I know, Father Kerry, you've had big crowds, Bible studies.
It's all starting. Football,
lots
tailgates,
of people visiting.
Tailgates, parents coming to town.
Yep. You had like Dad's Day for all the sororities a couple weeks back. Homecoming's coming up.
Yes. Pumping.
Ooh. We should do a whole show on pumping.
And
explain what pumping is for people who don't.
Okay, pumping. Pumping is they come up with a theme, and then they draw the theme out.
This is like sororities
and fraternities. This is Greek life. And then they take chicken wire, and you take...
Not chickens.
Not chickens.
Chicken wire.
Chicken wire. And you take little squares of paper and a paintbrush, and you paint glue on the section of the chicken wire, and then you punch the paper through with a pencil that you rolled up. And if you're off by one, you get into it, and you're like, oh, no. I got to redo this whole thing. So every college student, especially the freshmen, are required to do... every college student in Greek life is required to do time. Freshmen do about 40 hours a week.
Pumping.
So they have class, and then they have 40 hours a week of pumping.
It's like playing a Division I sport. I was going to play basketball, but I decided to pump.
So it takes their lives. Just like, I don't even know students. Some students don't go to school for like 2.5 weeks.
Get out.
They don't do homework.
This is an educational institution.
Yeah, because they're here to pump and have fun.
If I were their parents and was paying tuition, I would, you get to say things like, I didn't pay for you to get up here and pump. See, this is the disadvantages of being celibate priests, We don't have kids. We don't get to say stuff like, I will turn this car around. And like, I'm not paying for you to be up there pumping. Anyway. I've been wanting to do this episode.
Like, if you're gonna rant about pumping as a dad, I mean, Dad, it's just paper. We
could start an organization, Dads Against Pumping. DAP. Anyway, I've been wanting to do this episode for a while. So if you don't know, no, pumping. Behind the scenes, a little look into the show here. Behind the scenes, we made a conscious effort when we started this whole endeavor 70 episodes ago or so. This was not going to be like a current events show where we like talk about the presidential election or talk
football
about,
season
or even football season. We kind of just there's other avenues by which to get information.
I don't want Vegas calling me and saying, "Golly, you got some great predictions."
OSU football.
Yeah.
We wanted to find a way to speak to issues and theological topics between Sundays to reach our people. And then if we reach beyond our people, great. But really our goal is the students of Oklahoma State University, the people of Payne County, and then anything beyond that is
like our last week the discussion on the human life of immigrants.
Yeah, that would apply. I mean, we talked about it related to Stillwater, but that would apply. Somebody in Texas could listen to that and maybe get something out of it.
New York, yeah.
So what I want to talk about today, and Father Kerry graciously agreed, I would like to talk about things our parishioners do that are annoying.
Can I use names?
We're not going to say names.
What? I thought you told me I could use names.
But here, and I say this, I preface this by saying this. This is not like a ranty episode. These are things that I think maybe this used to happen when I was a teacher or when I was a school administrator. Like during Mass, I'd be at school. So we would have Mass at Bishop Kelly. We had a Mass in the gym because our chapel
all school Mass.
Chapel seated 250,
900
and there's
seats.
900 plus students in the school, plus teachers, plus parents, 1,000, 1,200 people at Mass. And I'm up there. And we built this stage, so I'm up there during Mass, and I'm trying to concentrate like on the readings. So I'm like looking at the lector who's reading, but right behind the lector are like two kids that are talking. So I don't stop the Mass and say, hey, you rascally kid, But after Mass, I go and find those kids, or I call them to my office. And I said, hey, why were you guys talking the whole Mass? And they're like, what? And I say, what? You guys were talking like the whole time. Now, ideally, a teacher should see that and should do something about it, kind of in that space. But they were like, you saw that? And the answer is, yes, I saw that. So I think a lot of people think, like especially during Mass, that like priests just sort of, like all senses just sort of get cut off, and that we don't notice, anything.
All school Mass one time I was preaching. It was an All Saints feast day. And I'm looking around at people, and I'm looking them in the eyes and talking to them, and I look up to my right, and there's this young man named Josiah S. Well, for secrecy's sake, we'll just say Josiah S.
I love it.
So Jay Siddiqui, oh dang it, I just used his full name.
Outed him.
Just that. So I look up, and Josiah Siddiqui, who's not Catholic, I can see this glow on his face. And so I didn't say anything, and I panned back around, and I said, saints do very simple things in their life. Like they make the sign of the cross before they kick field goals, like Josiah Siddiqui. And I looked at him, and he looked up with this just grimacing
you
look
do
on
that
his...
during homilies, though. You name names.
And he looked up at me and shut off his phone that he was playing some race car.
He was on the phone?
He was on his phone playing,
no.
And I could see the glow of the phone on his face. And everybody turned and looked at him. So I gave him
Luckily, he's off. He's doing good things. Went to Vanderbilt, and
he's good.
He's rocking it.
Okay, so
I think this will be helpful to help people who are Catholic, and this will apply across the board. These are not just things that are like particular sort of peeves of mine or Father Kerry's. These are just things that we think our people should know about the way the church works. I'll preface this again by saying, I know that I can be annoying.
Oh, let me list the ways.
I realize that, right? We all have annoying things. I say this to people a lot in the confessional when they say, oh my gosh, I have this coworker and they're super annoying and they try my patience. I will usually say something like, you're that, how annoying your coworker is? You're that annoying for some other coworker.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's generally how this works.
So I was leaving my office to come over here to do this podcast at Pete FM, and Taylor Uribe says, Father O'Brien sent out a tweet and asking what are some annoying things that people do, and she says, can I list all the annoying things that you do, Father? I'm like,
like what?
No, I don't do anything. Oh, she called me out one time because around 2:45, she was a college student this time, and now she works for me in the development office. Around 2:45, I would go out and I would find students who are staff, who are working, who weren't doing anything. And I was like, okay, let's do some cleanups around here. Let's do this. And she looked at me and she had had enough of it. She was like, listen here, Father, why don't you go take your 3:00 nap and rest up? And then when you're done rested after 25 minutes, you can come back and talk to us because right now you're annoying all of us.
Oh.
And I was like,
hey, now.
Okay. So I went into my office and I've been doing since I was 18 years old. I've been taking my 3:00 nap. And
That's
we all do.
annoying.
We all have annoying little.
We do.
All of us.
All right. So here's my number one. Here's my number one. And we don't need to go into great detail. Leaving Mass early. I'm annoyed by that.
Wait, why are you annoyed by?
I'm annoyed because I don't understand it. I just don't get it. Now I get okay, you're a doctor, and your pager goes off. Do people still have pagers? I get you get a call. Oh my gosh, I'm at Mass and my wife is having a baby. Okay, I get that. I don't get what the 4 minutes that this saves you. I especially don't get it, and I'm super annoyed by people who do it with their kids.
Oh, you know Philip Neri? So St. Philip Neri,
because it is a straight up bad example for your kids.
Yeah. So St. Philip Neri
and everybody else. Go ahead.
Father Philip Neri, now St. Philip Neri.
Yep.
When he was a priest in Rome, people would leave Mass early, and he would send his acolytes out because acolytos is to follow somebody in Greek. So he would send his acolytes out with torches and bells. And people ask, what are you doing? He says, well, you're currently a tabernacle walking through the city of Rome. You have the blessed sacrament in you. You have Jesus. You've eaten and drunk of him, and now he's in your body. And so we want to make sure that everybody respects you. So they would carry torches through the streets of Rome.
Passive-aggressive holiness.
So St. Philip Neri would do it. It is kind of annoying when people are just like, they don't take the time after the liturgy.
I'm discouraged by it. Okay, so that's one thing. That's one thing.
Okay, let me give you.
You got one? You got one? Yeah, please.
I've always been able to set the mood in my churches, in my parish of
slow jams
and boom boom dance.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night at St. John Catholic Student Center.
Oh yeah,
I'm your DJ. MC Kerry Coolidge. We're so glad you're here. Okay, sorry.
That's not what I'm talking about setting the mood, but that is very close. Of just what happens at the end of Mass. Students want to pray. They always want to pray. There's students that are always staying around after Mass to just take quiet time. And so I get to set the mood by telling other students, hey, when you're leaving church, don't just stand around and just talk.
Okay.
Let me just keep going. Please don't stand around and talk, because this is what's going on. These people are trying to take quiet time in prayer. They're trying to deepen their relationship with the Lord. This is their only time they have during the week or on Sunday to do this. So just can you leave in silence?
I am picking up what you're putting down.
Smell what I'm stepping in, brother?
I am.
Oh, right there.
Ain't no thing.
So this is... What happened just now? Did we just turn into the 80s?
The idea, yes. So when Mass is over, there's two options.
Go in peace and quiet.
Stay in the church and pray. An act of thanksgiving is very appropriate. Or leave. And you don't have to leave the building. Just leave what we would call the nave. Leave the church proper. I know at least at St. Francis Xavier, we have coffee
and donuts
and fruit and after we don't not after the Saturday night Mass, but go. You can hang out in the narthex, which is our kind of our lobby, we would say. You can hang out there for as long as you want. Go outside if the weather's nice. Go down in the parish hall. Go sit in the parish office. Do something, but take your conversations out of the church. It's rude.
So this first started really when I was living in Albany. I'm growing in my faith. I just got out of the military. I was working for the state of New York, and there's actually right around 9/11, September 11th, when I was living in New York. And Mass ends, and I sit down to take some quiet time in prayer, and the whole place erupts into conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just overwhelmed by what's going on. But I think at the heart of it is, how are people deepening their relationship with Jesus?
Yep.
It was not Elizabeth of the Trinity, Teresa of Lisieux. Teresa of Lisieux says, those couple minutes after you've received Holy Communion, Jesus is in you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what should one be doing? Taking heartfelt time to relax with the Lord and think on Him.
Yeah, just an act of gratitude and
for this awesome gift, which is your salvation right there. You've eaten and drunk of your salvation.
Nice.
Okay, so
I have another one.
Oh.
So when we use incense, and you use incense more than me.
I use it every Sunday.
We're gonna use incense more at St. Francis Xavier once we get our servers
taller.
Our servers are a small group of people. They are diminutive. I love them, but they are very small people.
Mm-hmm.
But the what happens a lot of times, as soon as the incense, before it even, it's not even lit, no incense has been put into the thurible, and it's like this mental condition.
I incensed the altar one time. This was in a different parish, and I remember incensing the altar. And as I handed it back to the server, I'd forgotten to put incense in it, and people were coughing.
Yeah. So don't do that. I mean, incense. I get that some people there can be like allergies to it, but don't overblow it. Don't be dramatic about it. Incense is awesome, and incense should be used more. And I mean, I'll say this, right? St. Francis Xavier, it's going to appear more in the future.
Like burning incense, oh Lord, let our prayers rise up to you.
You need good servers, and we're getting there. So that's another one. Can I do another one? I have another
whoa.
one.
And you also need to make sure that your fire alarm doesn't go off in the middle of Mass
that's also
anymore.
true. It did
Come
go
on,
off
dude.
last year during Christmas midnight Mass. Okay, so this is more of a practical one. There are, I don't know the best word to describe them, but there are people who are just in and around the church all the time.
Like me and you?
No, like parishioners.
Oh, okay.
And they're wonderful. They're daily Mass goers. They're volunteers. They're involved in programs. They come to lectures. And so they're just kind of around. They stop by the parish office. They're around. And they're wonderful. They're wonderful. They're kind of, I mean, in many ways, kind of the backbone of the parish. Don't take this the wrong way, even though I think you're going to, because of the way I'm going to say it. And that is, right after Mass, like, I don't want to talk to you.
Ouch.
Not because I don't love you, but because you have, and this is going to sound sort of pretentious, and I don't mean it that way.
Oh, it is.
These folks, you have access to me all throughout the week. Meanwhile, what we're trying to do is we're trying to evangelize Payne County. And so we have all these other people that we only see on Sunday.
Or complete strangers who just
or people
walked
who
in
have
the
just
door.
walked in off the street. I want to be accessible for them. I want to meet them. I want to learn their name. I want to know their story. Some people who want to go to confession. They want to be anointed. I want to give people the sacraments. People who are asking for blessings. It's their birthday. They're going on a trip. They just, I had a couple recently. They had a miscarriage. They're hurting and asking for the church's blessing. But what happens a lot of times is that's when a lot of people who are around a lot during the week kind of want to do business. And I just want, wait a little bit. Let me kind of clear this space with the people that I'm not going to see and may never even see again. And then let's do business. Does that make sense? Am I overblowing that?
No, I think you're right. They could meat with you 6 other days during the week.
Yes.
They could email you because they have your email address.
Yes.
They could call
Some
the
of
office.
them have my phone. Yeah.
Yeah. They know where you're going to be because you have your times published throughout the week. And then Sunday is an opportunity for you to meet people
expand the circle.
Yeah, meet people who are strangers, like those. When you were a stranger, when I welcomed you. When you're hungry, I fed you a donut. When you needed coffee, I pointed you to the parish hall.
Had in mind. His donuts.
All those things. So those are really great. This is one of mine. Yeah,
I'm so excited. What are you gonna? I have no idea what you're gonna say.
You know how
is this something just related to college students?
This is just human.
That's
beings.
everybody.
Yeah,
human beings. Here we go.
Human beings.
This is so excited.
There's this phrase.
I feel so much better.
There's
it's
this
very
phrase.
Therapeutic.
Oh,
okay,
that when people say it,
what is it?
I just I tense up.
Oh, this is.
And I start to shake and get a little panic.
I have no idea.
They're like, and they say this, Father, do you remember my name?
Oh. Yeah, don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do that.
If I wish people would just greet me, and because they expect me to know them because I met them at some event someplace in Tulsa 5 years ago, and they walk up like, "Hey, Father Wakulich, how's it going?" And I have no idea who they are, and they look at me.
Or you have a general. I mean, if there's a familiarity sometimes.
Yeah, it's sometimes like the brain will if they approach, like I can start to
I know you from a particular location.
Exactly. I can start figuring out things as they're approaching just by sizing them up and kind of going through my memory bank. But if they just show up and say, "Hey, Father Wakulich, how's it going?" I would like you to do this. I would be like, "Hi, Father Wakulich, my name is Ted Wojciechowicz. I met you
at the wedding.
Yeah.
At Tim and Carol's wedding 5 years ago.
I did 17 weddings this year and met thousands of people.
And then you would say, "Oh, yeah." And then, I mean, yeah, no, when that happens to me, I know. Like that little reintroduction, where did we meet, a little context. so helpful.
Yeah, it happened
So
one time on
helpful.
an airplane. This person said, "Hey, Father Kerry, nice to meet you," or no, "Nice to see you," and I'm like, I have no idea who this person is. I'm in Atlanta, flying back to Oklahoma, and I just like blank stares, like, "Nice to see you too," and then they said, "We were just up at OSU 3 months ago." They filled in the blanks for me. I was like, "Oh."
And this is like, I think, basic sort of decent manners, not just for priests, but for everybody. You know, that if there's any shadow of a doubt that the person doesn't know exactly who you are, then just reintroduce yourself. Break that ice. That's a good lesson, I think, for people in general. But on the priest side, I mean, from our side, we do in a very good way. We see a lot of people, we meet a lot of people, but then we meet a lot of people in very different contexts. And then we kind of have to. I mean, one way we have to, like in confession, for example, we compartmentalize that, and we don't repeat that. So there's times when you know you've seen somebody in the confessional, and so their face is familiar, and they start sort of talking, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. I mean, your face is familiar, but just reintroduce yourself.
Yeah. Can I another?
You got another one?
Yeah. This happened. This happens when people when a person will come up and say, "Hey, Father, I know you're busy," and they say, "I know you're busy." I'm like, "Okay, one, I'm not busy because I'm hanging out with you right now."
Yeah.
Or they say, "Can I have 5 minutes?" And then they take 20.
Yeah.
And there's a phrase in Spanish. Father Samuel Perez, who's the pastor up in Miami, taught me. He said the phrase is in Spanish. He says when somebody starts talking, you just say "a grano, por favor." Like, get to the point.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to say to people, like, someone did this a couple of weeks ago. They said, "Can I talk to you for 5 minutes?" And then 35 minutes later, I'm still in this conversation with them. And I don't want to be rude and say...
Was it me?
I don't want to be rude and say, "Hey, Father Duck, can you make an appointment?"
It was Father Robert.
Okay, there you go.
Why? Okay, this is just a little. I just have this question. Why do? How do I put this? Why do white people call their priests padre? What's going on there? Can we talk about that?
Why do?
What is this?
I've never heard a white guy say, "Why do white people, like, drink caramel macchiatos?"
Padre means father in English and Italian, or excuse me, in Spanish and Italian. What is that? What is that?
There's in Father Brown Mysteries on the TV show from BBC.
Hey, Padre.
There's a local cop in the town, and he refers to Father Brown as Padre because he's Anglican and he doesn't want to call him Father.
Something cultural.
Yeah, maybe it's something cultural.
You're still calling him Father. That's what Padre means.
I have a buddy who calls me. He goes, "Hey, Padre," and he got it from his
what's up with
dad.
that?
He got it from his dad.
Oh.
Now, I don't understand.
I don't get it. I think they're like trying to like maybe be more
inclusive.
No,
cross-cultural,
maybe more like informal.
Oh, but they
switching,
and it gets.
I prefer to be called Pater, the Latin.
I'm
Anyway,
gonna start calling you
so
that.
it's not really a pet peeve. It's just find it interesting. My last one is people who don't sing.
What?
Welcome to St. Francis Xavier. Please join us in our opening hymn, number 575. Christ our Lord has risen today. So it's been announced. It's up. We have these, song boards up in front of the church. There's a book right in front of you. We actually say, please join us in the Blue Gather hymnal. There's only one hymnal that's in English. We have a Spanish one. We got an English one.
You got a 50% odds to pick up the right one.
I don't get it.
Do you ever do
Seems kind
like
of selfish?
Do you walk by and like lift the book and hand it to the person?
I don't. I usually just when I'm walking in, I'm pretty.
Or hand the book to somebody that's open and take the one in their pew.
I try to be focused. I really think, and I know people probably don't mean it this way. Mm-hmm. The story I tell myself, it seems like selfish. Like I'll let everybody else sing. I don't really need to sing.
Well, what's the purpose of singing at the liturgy? Is it that important?
I would say.
Sacrosanctum Concilium from the Second Vatican Council puts music top up there with the things that are done at the liturgy.
Yeah.
So come on. Okay, you ready? This used to happen at
This is so fun.
This happened at a parish where I lived, and they people would bring over half-eaten cakes, or
What's wrong with half-eaten cakes?
well, I don't know where the cake has been.
Oh,
So it would be like a
like
cake,
is it a germ thing? You're having
or it
a
was
germ
like
issue?
food. It was like food from an event, and it would show up in our kitchen. Now, I do like it that people bring things over, and like this gal at Christ the King named Hannah used to bring over pies, and they were delicious. Now, and parishioners would bring over like, hey, Father, we made this tabbouleh for you all. Oh, really great. I love tabbouleh. We'd put it in the fridge, and we'd eat it with chicken and stuff like that. But then, like a mystery bag would show up.
Just meat.
And it was like drumsticks. Now, I don't know if these drumsticks had been sitting out all day or these drumsticks had been touched by everybody at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the Chicago Bears lose, and rightfully so. I don't know what had happened. If Jay had, eaten a drumstick and then thrown it back into the pile mistakenly, and now it's
You're not
German
a germ
fest.
guy, though.
I'm not.
You have more than most people I know. You have like a low.
I have a low
It's a
germ
point of
sensitive.
disagreement in our house.
I wish.
You have low. Yeah, you have.
I know we don't get that. People don't just drop off cakes, but it's about to happen when the new rectory opens. Someone's gonna drop off a cake, and
They're
it's
gonna drop off
like
a cake in the morning, and all three of us are gonna be gone all day.
Yeah, I don't know if
come
like a neighborhood dog has been
be
gnawing on
a
it.
skunk sitting on it. So here's one. This has not happened yet, but I've heard this in other places. When we're building this new rectory and it's on the grounds, I'm going to try. As we move in, that the rectory is it's our home. Now we are priests and we are radically available, especially for emergencies. And 24 hours a day, you call us and we're coming. But what I worry about a little bit is I think it might be the only downside to our new rectory, and that is that they'll go to the office, and I'm not at the office, and then they'll come to the rectory.
But I got a fixed solution for that. You ready?
What is
this? Is
it?
how we're going to do this. They have this
Bear
stuff.
traps.
No. Better. They have these white string that has a little metal strip in it, and you can put it on a little fence around the place, and then you put a little solar panel there, and it charges it up during the day, and it runs electricity through it, and no one will come over. It keeps cows out. It'll keep humans out. I promise you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, rule of thumb is like don't pop by
Unannounced.
the rectory. Yeah, the rectory is not a place of business. And so if I'm in the office, then I'm ready for business. But if I'm at the rectory, I'm there for a reason. Either to rest or need to get a lot of work done, or something like that.
You know what? Something that annoys me is when people throw pieces of paper at trash cans. Oh wait, that's you.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
I do that at home a lot.
You do.
We're sitting on our couch and I drink like paper or
like you rip something out of your newspaper, like
plastic
the
bottle, and I
throw it across the room at the
I was a basketball player.
I know, but those days are over. Those days are over.
All right, so let's recap. Don't leave mass early. You got to sing.
Don't call me Padre.
Don't call me Padre. What is that?
Don't call me Padre. Don't ask. Do you remember my name? Just tell me your name.
Yeah, just tell me your name.
Don't drop off half-eaten food over at the rectory and think we're gonna eat it.
I will say one thing that I do that is very helpful. And this will be my last point here in the confessional. That when there's like a long line, I always appreciate those people who will say like, Father, there's 2 more people in line, or there's 5 more people in line. I always find that helpful because then you can kind of manage the line.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
A little bit better.
I love the people of God.
End on it's so great. Being a priest is great, and we love you. Don't hear this as complaining. Just hear it as these are ways that you can help us to be better priests.
And Father O'Brien loves to be hugged after Mass. Loves people surrounding him.
Oh dear.
No way, that's not true.
All right. Have a great week, everyone.
God bless you.
Thanks for listening. God bless you. Go Pokes.